Hello and welcome to the Pontiac Silverdome as the Catholic Television Network of Detroit and the Michigan High School Sports Network Television Edition present the Catholic League Football Championship game for 1999 between Harper Woods Bishop Gallagher 7-1 and the 6-2 Detroit University of Detroit Jesuit High School Cubs. Along with Jeff Hager, I'm Tom Skinner, and high school football coming to a close with Prep Bowl action here today with the regular season finales. And Jeff, terrific day for high school football and a great way for the young men to cap it off at the Silverdome.
Yeah, great way to cap it off at the Silverdome, at least for the regular season. Both these teams are headed for the playoffs, however, under the new format. U of D Jesuit in with a 6-2 mark already, so win or lose today, they're in. And also the team from Harper Woods Bishop Gallagher, 7-1. A lot of teams think this is one of the better teams in Class D, and certainly with a chance to win Division 7 or Division 8, probably Division 8, whichever one they end up in. So it should be a great game between two pretty good football teams.
That drama will be spelled out behind us when we come back after these messages. You're watching the Prep Bowl on the Michigan High School Sports Network Television Edition with the Catholic Television Network of Detroit.
Percent of the graduates of these schools continue their education after high school. A Catholic education also teaches good Christian values, which students will carry with them for a lifetime. For more information, call the Catholic high school in your area or the Catholic schools office at 313-237-4676.
And welcome back to the Pontiac Silverdome, where the Cubs of the University of Detroit Jesuit High School will take on Bishop Gallagher, the Lancers. Harper Woods Bishop Gallagher, and what should be a terrific football game.
Yeah, it should. I had a chance to see Bishop Gallagher in their first game of the year, and they absolutely destroyed the defending Class D champions in Fowler. And Fowler, I mean, is one of those programs that, yes, they lost a significant number of players to graduation last year, but they don't rebuild, they reload in Fowler. And, I mean, Harper Woods just destroyed them, although they did have a bump along the road, and you're probably a little bit more familiar with that than I am, Tom.
They were beaten by Genesee High School, and dripping with irony, that game, that matchup, and we'll talk about that as we get ready as we roll through tonight's football game. Ball taken at the 11-yard line by Shawnee Watson, and Watson picking up a couple of blocks. He's out over the 40 to the 45 and might have gotten out as far as the 47-yard line. That's a Shawnee Watson for the Cubs of U of D Jesuit.
36-yard return on that play, and just gets U of D off to where they want to be, at least to start this game, right near midfield.
Ball will be on the 46-yard line of the Cubs. And the Cubs will send out Jordan Fields, Eric Berry, Jesse Cezak, Matt Bama, Mike Tate, Aaron Taylor, Patrick Judge across the front. Quarterback is a Shawnee Watson with that fine return. Billy Shaw, Robert Perkins, and James Fields in the backfield and the flanker. Watson rolling out. He's got room, and he's going to flip it out there, complete to James Fields, and Fields with a big gain before he is absolutely blasted by Darnell Hood.
Now, Darnell Hood, the fine sophomore on Bishop Gallagher, but I'll tell you what, already you can see that a Shawnee Watson, his ability to run has got Bishop Gallagher not knowing exactly what he's going to do. He strung that play out, ran to the side. You'll watch it right here. They're not sure if he's going to run or pass. Is he going to tuck it in? Finally, he just lofts the ball after the cornerback comes up to maybe, thinking that he's going to run to make the play. He leaves the receiver all alone, and they get a big gainer out of it.
Reverse pivot. Watson will option left. He'll keep the football.
Still on his feet. Fine effort again by Watson. Great athlete.
So it's a gain of about 5, maybe even 6. As Watson will make it second down, and now they're going to give him 5 on the play, so we will also. It'll make it second down and 5 for U of D Jesuit. Coming in at 6-2. Coached by Scott Merchant in his second year. Barking out the signals now, the reverse pivot give to Robert Perkins, and Perkins with a couple 3, maybe 4 yards on that gain. He's out there near the first down stick. He'll be shy by about a half a yard. give them a 4-yard gain.
Well, you know, BG is such a strong team offensively and defensively. They're so quick, but U of D Jesuit right now matching them in terms of quickness. They have gotten out of the gates fast.
Melvin Moss and Harry Brown, the outside linebackers. Inside, Tony Collins and Cedric Louie. Across the front, Aaron Grays, Terry Canny are the tackles. Nose guard, Linnell Summy. And a first down carry on 3rd down and 1 for the Cubs. And that'll be number 32 carrying the mail, Billy Sharp, for the first down gain, and a couple more, maybe one more. Well, hold on. We're going to take a look at that. That was a spot that I thought was less than favorable. I thought he had the first down for sure.
Yeah, they were marking him just a little bit short.
Wow.
No gain on the play.
4th down and 1. And, well, take your hats off to that defense. Continuing with it, mention Linnell Summy, the nose guard. Corners are Darnell Hood, Marcus Curry, strong safety Torrin Lewis, and Bobby Struther is the free safety. Quarterback keeper and Watson, I think, has enough for the first down that time to keep the drive alive.
Nice job out of the gate so far for U of D Jesuit, as we mentioned. A couple of carries, 6 yards for Watson. Interesting, Tom, as I'm looking down on the field, maybe there's something we'll talk about a little bit more during a timeout. You look at the feet of the players from U of D Jesuit. It looks like they borrowed some spats from the marching band here.
We'll get a close-up of that a little bit later. Watson barking the signals out. He's got a man in motion coming to him. That's Fields. Now he'll option right. Defensive penetration forces him back inside, and he spins away and finally brought down. He ran it about 8 or 9 yards laterally, brought it back for maybe a yard, possibly 2. Then they'll give him a gain of 1 on the play. 2nd down and 9.
I mean, typically when you see that around the feet, and you see that guys taping their feet and with turf or putting on things to help out, and you look at these, they're almost like spats these guys are wearing, and they match the color of their uniform. I don't think I've ever seen them, the color of the uniform like that before, usually only white or black.
Interesting. Color coordination there.
It's like they're wearing slippers at times.
For the maroon and white. And back to throw is Watson. Quick pass out in the right flats.
Oh, if Hood doesn't
complete.
hang on.
And complete for first down yardage and then some. He won't go down. Mark Hammer with the reception. You got to put the hammer on him to bring him down.
Nice play by Hammer that time, and if Darnell Hood doesn't get a little clump of his jersey, it's 6 points, and Jesuit's on the board.
And a gain of 17 on 2nd down and 9, and that'll make it first down and 10.
Just a quick little 3-step drop that time by Watson, and he's got his man, and as you said, Hammer doing a nice job of getting himself almost into the end zone.
Give deep in the backfield to Robert Perkins, and Perkins brought down just inside the 10. He might have picked up a yard.
A couple carries for 5 yards for Perkins. Looked like it was a play that was going to get a lot more than what it ended up receiving in terms of yardage.
It looked as though that corner was open momentarily, but terrific recovery and the reaction by the Bishop Gallagher defense.
We'll see how they shut him down here in a short field situation.
Offset I formation. Perkins is deep. Receivers to both sides. They'll option left. Go deep in the backfield. Perkins with it. And with a running start and a burst of speed, he's down near the 5. And we've got a late flag in there, and that might have been a face mask call that it will go against Bishop Gallagher.
Well, if it is, that's going to be a costly penalty because then it gives them first down inside the 5-yard line.
It's first, and it looks to be like they could get a first down inside the 1. And it will be a face mask call. And Jeff Hager, along with Tom Skinner here at the Pontiac Silverdome, the first scoring opportunity of the football game as U of D Jesuit High School, beginning their drive on their own 46-yard line, have marched down now inside the 5 of Harper Woods Bishop Gallagher.
Okay, so it must not have been a flagrant face mask because they're giving them half the distance to the goal and making it now 3rd down, about 2 yards. It's actually half the distance, cut the distance down to about 2 yards for a first down.
So grasping the face mask as opposed to grabbing.
That's
Perkins
a touchdown.
Races to the corner. Touchdown on 3rd down and 2. And on the board first are the Cubs of U of D Jesuit High School.
Well, there was an alley as wide as Grand River Avenue going over to that corner of the end zone that time for Perkins. The corner that shut down when he was trying to go in from the 11 very quickly was wide open this time when he went in from the 3.
3 consecutive carries, 4 carries in the drive for Perkins, and that one goes the distance. Here's the snap, the hold, the kick, and it's the letter perfect, and on the board first. University of Detroit Jesuit High School with the lead 7-0.
Quick first quarter thus far, just 4 minutes and 36 seconds taken off the clock. A very impressive drive by U of D Jesuit, simply because not only do they run effectively, they also throw the ball very effectively.
10 plays, and they negotiate 54 yards on the drive, and let's watch the touchdown capper.
As you can see right here, you'll watch the cornerback bites on the receiver, and it's all over for Perkins. I mean, he's got nothing but clear real estate in front of him.
Nice work sealing everything to the inside. They created a wall, and Perkins raced to the flag for the touchdown. And let's watch the extra point. And this is so critical. Momentum, you finish the drive with momentum by making the extra point.
In the CYO game we watched earlier today, of course, they got 2 points per kick. This counts as 1, as it does at the rest of the levels of football. Boy, mishandled ball there.
Squib kick, and dangerous when it looked like Bishop Gallagher would get good field position with the short squib kick. Instead, it rolls through legs and arms and hands, and Bishop Gallagher, the Lancers, will begin with the football on their own 14-yard line.
Yeah, sophomore Milton Johnson out there on the kick return team for Bishop Gallagher, and he let the ball go between his legs, and there was some confusion out there. Clearly, they're going to try and keep the ball away from Marcus Curry, number 6, who's already committed to the University of Michigan for next year. He's the big play guy on the Lancer side of the football.
We'll give you that Lancer offense in just a moment. They split receivers to both sides. An I formation. Flankers actually to the left tight ends over there as well, and they're going to throw it out there. Complete out there to Robert Struther, I believe that is.
No, that's Curry again.
Is that Curry? And then we've got a late flag. Curry number 6 instead of Struther number 8, and Curry with the catch, and then yards after catch will be a term that is used a lot with this young man. Already has been in with the balance of his football career.
Yeah, nice play right there. I mean, he got the 11 yards he needed to get the first down and get them out of their own end of the field a little bit. They're out over the 26. Great play that time. Again, you mentioned yards after the catch, and Curry does a fine job that time of eluding one defender, working his way toward the sideline. He's going to draw a lot of attention today from U of D Jesuit. Everybody knows who this young man is, but that's a costly 15-yard penalty that now puts the Lancers out near midfield.
Ball will be on the 41-yard line of Bishop Gallagher. And just one play ago, the first play of this drive originating from the 14. So big turn of events there. And they give right up the gut to Darnell Hood. Let's give you the starting lineup for this Bishop Gallagher offense. Center is Terry Canny. The guards, Cedric Louie and Harry Brown. The tackles, Joe Curry and Josh Bollinger. Tight end, Jeff Massering. The wide receivers, Torrin Lewis, number 3, and Marcus Curry, number 6. Fullback, Tony Collins. Tailback, Darnell Hood, and Sam Martinez is the quarterback. Martinez barking the signals out, staggered cadence, gives to the fullback. And he bounces off one would-be tackler before picking up maybe a yard.
Well, last year I had a chance to see this team play early in the season, their first game of the year. And the star of the game rushing the ball was Darnell Hood as a freshman. He's grown. He did not have as big a game this year in his first game as Tony Collins did. Tony Collins was the star for BG in their first outing this season, and he's a dangerous fullback at 5'10 and 186 pounds.
Collins with a couple yards on the pickup when it's finally said and done. Split left, flanker right, tight end to the near side, rolling out Martinez. Martinez is chased out of bounds, but not before he gets up near that first down stake.
I think he's got that by at least a half a yard.
He's in Cubs territory. That's where that first down stake is, and they're going to mark it 1 yard past it, so give him a gain of 7 on the play for Martinisi.
Nice run that time. It looked like it was closing up quickly for him after he made the decision to run, and Martinisi just stayed with it, kept spinning, and got his way out over the 50-yard line and into U of D Jesuit territory.
Martinisi, the junior quarterback, he's got receivers to both sides, a couple of running backs, and he's going to go to Darnell Hood. And Hood going nowhere, doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
And he'll lose at least one on the play there, does Darnell Hood. Marcus Curry, we talked about him just a few moments ago. Great speed, can run the 40 in under 4.4. That's why Lloyd Carr is excited to have him in his team at next season, because one thing that you learn at the major college level is you can never have enough speed. You can't have too much of that.
You can't coach someone to be fast. You can help them improve their quickness, but just outright speed, you can't get that unless you're born with it. I formation, tight end to the near side, and back to throw Martinisi, and
screen
little
pass.
screen to the left flats.
Not going anywhere.
Oh my. Oh my. Going nowhere. That was
Boy.
Darnell Hood. That's like looking out there and realizing that you're on your own on an island with defenders.
Well, you know, the strange thing about that play is, I mean, they set up the screen exactly how you want it to. You want the defenders to come through the offensive linemen, and you got the back just out over in front of the defenders, and you dump the ball to them. Problem was, Hood never got out in front of the defenders, and so as soon as he got the ball dumped to him, he was just encircled. And now it creates a 3rd and long situation.
Yeah, they lose a bunch on that one. Back to throw Martinisi. He's got a man across the middle. Intended receiver out there, Robert Strother, and too tall for him and too far out in front of him, and it'll be 4th down.
They'll be forced to punt. Well, you have to score that as a victory, especially after the penalty that we saw for tackling out of bounds that really could have potentially hurt U of D Jesuit. Give their defense credit for stepping up to the plate and making some things happen. And now Martinisi's going to have to kick the ball away.
He will punt it away, and we've got a lone return man back there with a knuckleball twisting kick taken there by Ashani Watson. And Watson, a little
got by Curry. He's got a lot of room now.
A little bit of a window along the near sidelines. He cuts it back inside, and Ashani Watson creating some outstanding field position after it looked like it was going to be a little addition by subtraction at the beginning. He ran backwards a bit, a little bit laterally, and all of a sudden the wall set up.
Yeah, the wall set up for him. The important thing he did on that play was kind of caught it over the shoulder, I think, and made it seem as if he was going to have some trouble with that ball. Started running to the side. You'll watch the punt again here. Martinisi gets off a pretty good kick. And then we'll see the catch. And he runs away from Marcus Curry. And anytime you do that, boy, you've created some possibilities for yourself.
Creating possibilities in big yards. Taking the handoff deep in the backfield. Robert Perkins, shoulder outside, breaks it back inside off that outside foot. And wow, good run that time, Jeff Hager, and 1st down.
5 carries, now 25 yards for Perkins, a 12-yard gain, his best of the day thus far. And it seems the ability that U of D Jesuit, the early success they've had, certainly with field position, they've been near midfield on both of their opening drives. But add to that the fact that they can throw the football, or at least have thrown the football effectively, setting up the run pretty well.
Patrick Judge and Mark Hammer splitting flank to the right. Back to throw is Watson. He'll throw it deep.
Got a man.
And incomplete out there to Mark Hammer, defended by Torrin Lewis, the cornerback.
I think Hammer that time didn't run under the ball perhaps like he should have. I think he thought maybe he was a little closer to the sideline than in actuality what he was. Had he continued his route or continued the fade toward the sideline, he might have come up with that ball.
So it's an incomplete pass on 1st down and 10, and that will make it 2nd and long, 2nd and 10 for the Cubs of U of D Jesuit. They break the huddle, and leading him to the line of scrimmage is center Matt Bama.
I like the long throw on 1st down idea, though.
Man in motion coming from the near side. Now he'll head back the other way, and that's James Fields. Option for Watson. Elects to go to number 27, Robert Perkins, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage and not much more.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of room there for Perkins that time. Now it's a 3rd and long situation, and they find themselves in kind of a bit of a hole.
The Cubs 1 of 2 in 3rd down situations. After not making it on 3rd and 1 in their opening drive, they converted on 4th and 1. And then on 3rd and goal from the 2, they scored on the 2-yard touchdown run from Perkins. So their third down situation, it's 3rd and long. Watson back to throw, stop and go, and he's got a man open. Let's see if the defender can recover. Oh, and catching the ball out of bounds, but we've got a late flag, and it could be
roughing the passer,
roughing the quarterback.
Yeah,
and
personal foul.
Personal foul, roughing the quarterback.
Boy, that really hurts.
Drive kept alive.
So that'll be a 15-yarder and an automatic 1st down. And I mean, that time Marcus Curry did a good job of causing the ball to be thrown long. I mean, don't kid yourself. Right now, Watson knows who's out there on the cornerback coverage, and he knows he's got a guy with great speed out on that left cornerback position. He's going to have to throw the ball deep. Just threw it a little bit too deep that time, but they're saved by the penalty.
Well, now 2 of 3 in converting 3rd downs with a little help from their friends across the other side of the football. 2:22 to go, opening quarter. 1st down and 10 from the 24 of Bishop Gallagher. Deep handoff Perkins. He tries to race to the corner. Gets outside. Runs away from linebacker Tony Collins, but he's chased out of bounds finally, but not before he picks up some positive yardage. We've got a flag.
I think we might have a hold.
And Jeff Hager, you are exactly right. It'll be a hold against the offense.
Looked like Jesse Sezek, the offensive guard, pulled down the defender that time as he was trying to go by.
Well, they want him to pull out and lead, and that time he took the pull idea.
A little too literally.
A little bit too literally. Okay.
Got a hold of Aaron Graves that time, the nose tackle, and kind of yanked him down.
It is a spot foul, so it'll be marked off from where the infraction occurred. It'll be 1st down now and 17.
Watson in some trouble.
Oh, yes, pressure rolling out. He's got a man open and complete down there at the 2-yard line. I think it was going to one receiver. It was over his head, and I believe Mark Hammer came and took the ball that was intended for Jordan Fields.
Now we're going to get a clip. It's going to come back.
Oh, my. Big play wiped out because of the penalty. So
I was watching downfield, so I did not catch the clip. I don't know if we caught it on camera or not. I'd like to see it again because you saw Watson rolling out to the right, and you saw Terry Canny bearing down on him. He kept, with his great speed, though, he was able to keep flushing out of the pocket and headed to the right side of the field. And I did not catch the clip. I'd like to see who caught that one because I'm sure right now he's getting a talking to in the huddle, or will get a talking to, trying to find out exactly what happened there.
Get the calculator out because this sends him way back.
The good news for you, D Jesuit, is it's still 1st down.
Well, the ball is on the 48. They need to get to the 14, so that sounds like 1st and 34. Watson, play action, fake to Perkins. And now he's trying to buy time. Flips it out to Watson, flips it out to
one of the Bishop Gallagher assistants is where he flipped it.
Robert Perkins was in the neighborhood, but you're right. And a nice catch over there by the Bishop Gallagher assistant coach. 2 of the assistants are Jack Massering and Tom Massering. Jeff Massering, well, the son of one of the 2 assistant coaches. The only loss of the year this year by Bishop Gallagher is to Genesee High School, coached by Jim Massering.
Oh, no kidding.
So a little bit of a subplot in what was a good football game. I believe the final in that one was 28-8. That one going Genesee's way. Back to throw. Nope. Watson will keep it.
Quarterback draw. Excellent call.
Quarterback
He's
draw.
Still on his feet.
He's still on his feet, and he breaks it for another 5 or 6 yards. Ever dangerous Ashanti Watson.
That was just a fine run right there. He's already got 4 carries for 25 yards. And what he showed is what we talk about when a young man drives his legs and keeps those driving. He got on top of the defender that time and was not down on the ground by contact, and realized that and spun out of it picked up an additional 5-6 yards.
And that now makes it 3rd and 16, and we're going to see a timeout called by U of D Jesuit after the 18-yard quarterback draw. And Ashanti Watson with just a terrific individual effort after he was hit.
Almost out of time here in what has been a rapidly moving first half, Tom.
56 seconds left here in the opening quarter.
Let's go back to what could be a key play on this drive, because instead of having a 1st and goal at the 2, Watson was rolling out, and we'll see it, rolling out to his right on this play, buying himself some time.
Well, that's the earlier play that was out of bounds.
Right, out of bounds. And but the clip sent him way back. On that out of bounds play, they had a penalty called against them too, I believe, that set him back some yardage. So this has been a very lots of yellow hankies flying on this most recent drive for U of D Jesuits.
A drive that was kept alive by a penalty against the defense at one point, and instead of being able to use that as a springboard for a possible scoring drive, the Cubs have kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit with some of their own mental errors. Watson, play action fake to Perkins, throws across the middle, and nearly picked off out there by Robert Struther, the free safety stepping in.
Dangerous throw that time by Watson. After getting completing his first 2, he's missed his last 4 now. And a 4th down situation here from the 30-yard line, I have to believe they're probably going to go for it.
4th and 16 with Ashanti Watson out there on your side offensively.
Too far for a field goal, too close for a punt.
He is lightning waiting to strike. Watson breaks the team out of the huddle. They're led to the line of scrimmage by Matt Bama, the center. Receivers to the left. Patrick Judge along with James Fields. Back to throw. They'll set the screen up. Perkins has got it. He's got a wall of blockers in front of him. Nice cut back, and
not going to get it though.
Inside the 20, he's brought down. He'll be short of the first down stick, but a terrific effort there by number 27, the senior running back, Robert Perkins.
That'll change things up. Watson comes off the field, but again, a good call. Maybe would have liked to seen that on 3rd down instead of 4th, but they use the screen effectively there and almost get the first down, fall about 3 yards short. There you can see he just dumps it off there, and like you said, there was a wall of blockers, and the cutback is about the only move he had. I think if he'd gone to the outside, he wouldn't have even have gotten as close to the first down as he did. Nevertheless, Bishop Gallagher now takes over with the ball deep in their own territory.
And they begin from their own 17-yard line with 39 seconds left on the clock. And Tony Collins with the run right up the middle, not much there. Maybe 2, possibly 3. They'll spot it generously out to the 21-yard line now.
Let's see if we'll get one more playoff here in the quarter.
Drive actually began on the 18-yard line. And 10 seconds and counting here, and they'll have to get it out quickly if we're going to have one more play here in the opening quarter. 2, 1, and they do get it off.
Just barely. They're looking deep for Curry. Look out.
And out there defending very, very well. Mark Hammer working against Marcus Curry, and he breaks it up, and that'll be the final play of our opening quarter here from the Pontiac Silverdome. Terrific opening quarter of play in this matchup between Bishop Gallagher and U of D Jesuit.
Well, I think what we're going to see here with Hammer is he leaves himself enough of a cushion so that he can get back on Curry and stay in front of him. Curry had to watch the ball, and Hammer did a nice job of just staying right with him, and then at the last moment, getting a mid up there and knocking the ball away.
So after one quarter of play, U of D Jesuit with the 7-0 lead. Been nothing since the opening drive of the football game in the way of points, but a lot of big plays, a lot of entertaining type plays, and unfortunately for U of D Jesuit, a couple of them wiped out because of mental errors with penalties.
Yeah, some costly penalties here in the first quarter that we'll see how that changes, if it does change in the second quarter. But, Bishop Gallagher right now has had a difficult time getting their running game on track. And, you know, as great a receiver as Marcus Curry is, when this team can't run the football, they have a difficult time setting up the pass. And you saw it right there. I mean, U of D Jesuit not only was Hammer in good position, but the safety was coming over. So even if it was a catch, there was not going to be any running after the catch. And that's certainly where Curry is at his most dangerous.
So we get ready to start this second quarter, and coming in motion, Darnell Hood. Back to throw.
Oh, almost picked off.
Martinez nearly picked off as the ball was intended for Robert Struther.
Yeah, basically sitting right there that time, Desmond Crenshaw had what looked like to be a sure interception, and the ball just got a little low and kind of down between his legs. He wasn't able to come up with it, but the intended receiver, Struther, would have had to make one athletic move in order to come up with that ball. Martinez getting ready to punt for the second time.
And he'll be punting the football from about his 10, maybe 11-yard line after the snap finds its way back to him. It's a wobbly snap. Martinez with a knuckleball type kick, and not a very good kick either. That did go up into the stands.
Well, he wanted to keep it away from Watson that time. And that's what, again, we talked about the speed of Marcus Curry. Watson is no slouch when it comes to speed, and that's what it does. The fear that he's going to set him up in good field position actually sets him up in good field position. They're going to take over at the BG 37.
So it'll be first down and 10 on the 37-yard line. 11:47 left to play in the second quarter. And the give deep in the backfield to Perkins. Breaks a tackle, breaks another. Ball's on the turf. And hustling downfield, I believe that it was recovered by one of Perkins' teammates. No.
No.
Oh, now they're going to say hustling in and recovering Darnell Hood, number 4. And the ball goes back over to Bishop Gallagher.
Well, Perkins had a great gain that time of 10-plus yards, but the ball squirted out and squirted forward. And Darnell Hood, who has probably coughed the ball up once or twice as a tailback for Bishop Gallagher, knew what he was looking at when he saw that ball, pounced right on it, and gives his team their first chance with the game's first turnover.
Receivers to both sides. Pro set look, play action fake. Martinez rolling. He's got room to run. He breaks a tackle. He's got first down yardage before being bulldogged down to the turf at about the 34-yard line, and a gain of 12 on the play.
You know, we talked with Coach George Sahadi at the beginning of the year, and he talked about Martinez as a quarterback, and 6'1", 184-pound junior. And the thing he likes most about him is he's just efficient. He takes what the defense gives him. And that's a lot of times, you know, quarterbacks try to make things happen that just aren't there. And sometimes you got to learn to take what the defense is giving you and make the most of it. And that time he rolled out to his right, couldn't find an open receiver, made the most of a run.
They give to Hood. Oh, breaks the tackle, twists away. Instead of being pinned for a loss of 1, Jeff, he actually picks up 2. Maybe they're going to give him a gain of 2 on the play, maybe even 3.
Now, Darnell Hood grew some from last year, and he's just a sophomore at 6 foot and 180 pounds already. But last year he was going about 5'9" and 155 or so. So he's had that growth, and I think maybe what he struggled with his sophomore season is that quick 3-inch jump and size differential. I mean, it takes a little time for you to catch up in terms of your skill level when you have those growth spurts that you do in those mid-teen years.
A little bit of coordination and getting used to growing into his body. I formation, receivers to both sides, staggered count. Oh, and now let's see if that'll be procedure or motion against the offense. The quarterback did not get under center, and then he made a motion of some kind. And
I think he was under center for a moment and then pulled himself out a little bit, kind of pulled up, and the defense started jumping around and drew the referee's attention. I don't think they were going to call it at first. George Sahadi now wants to come out and talk things over. I don't think he's particularly happy with the way his offense has performed here in the first half.
So far, the offense has not yet been able to produce any points.
If you look at what happens here in the penalty, I mean, they come up here and, I don't know, Bishop Gallagher just seems to be not firing on all cylinders just yet. And then Martinisi changing a play maybe at the line of scrimmage. He's there, and then he kind of pulls himself out of center. And I think what happened was, by looking at it, looks to me like he was expecting the ball to be snapped, and it never came from the center. So realizing that, he thought the play was blown from his part. So there's obviously some miscommunication in terms of what the snap count's going to be. And boy, oh boy, you want your center first and foremost to know what it's going to be.
Absolutely. He's the guy that needs to know where everything is at. Quarterback, center, they've got to be on the same page. 2nd down and 12, and the give deep in the backfield to Hood. Hood's going nowhere. Tried to adjust and come up with something, and instead of a 2-yard loss, it turns out to be about a 5-yard loss.
Well, that's one of the things I was talking about in terms of Martinisi, that Hood right there did not take what the defense was giving him. He tried to create something else, and you see all too often when that happens, a running back can get themselves into more trouble than maybe just going up and taking the no gain. And now they're in a 3rd and 16 situation. A lot of real estate in front of them.
So 3rd down and long, and they've got split right, slot right. In the slot out there is Marcus Curry. And Lewis is the split end on that side.
He's going to go down.
Going nowhere, and we're going to have an incomplete pass.
I don't know if they're going to call it. It looks like he's spotting it for a sack. I'm not sure yet which way he's going to go on this. He didn't wave his arms as if it were incomplete.
Martinisi.
I think that's where they're going to mark it.
He got blasted. It looked like he hesitated when he was going to release. It looked like Marcus Curry along the far sideline with a little window, but doesn't happen, and it'll be 4th down now and nearly 17. They'll have to punt it away.
Well, credit to University of Detroit Jesuit with some great defense here in the first half, and they've really stifled what has been a high-powered Bishop Gallagher offense for most of the season. They're coming at and blocked it.
They got a piece of it, and the ball will end up out around the 42-yard line. I believe it was number 12, Chris Pisani, the junior, 6 foot, 170-pounder for U of D Jesuit. Maybe we can pick it up when we look at it again.
Pisani was one of the men who came through there. There were a couple of them, actually. And for some reason, I know George Sahadi's over there talking to Martinisi right now, but as we look at it again, the other, I think it was 80. I'll have to get his number. The number in the 80s, and my roster goes to 79 right now, so I'll have to catch that. 88, Mike Furchek with the...
Well, that would be on the other side. And, wow, big play here. Watson, it looked like he might have been down at one point. Instead, he comes up with a big play. If it was 88, it was Ini Uduinyang for U of D Jesuit, the 6 foot, 175-pound junior. And the crowd chanting down below us, "We got Watson." Might not be grammatically correct with the English translation if you take it into the classroom, but the point is well made. Big gain by Watson. 1st down and 10. Give to Perkins.
Coming
and he's
back.
got room to run. Spins away from one defender. He's down near the 1st down sticks.
Yeah, but I believe it's going to come back because that time Aaron Taylor, offensive lineman, pulled down number 51, Aaron Grays again. So Grays causing another holding penalty and another costly one for U of D Jesuit.
And it will come back. So that'll make it 1st down, but a little bit more real estate to pick up. It'll be 1st down and 20.
Yeah, on a day like today, you can sit around with the shirts off inside the Silverdome, of course.
Yeah, it's very much like what we have, a late fall day, and it's tipped and picked off. Strother on the interception after the pass was broken up. Watson tries to rip it free, and he does.
I think they're going to whistle him down.
Oh, my, that'll be a big break for Bishop Gallagher, and a tough break, tough slice of the break pie for U of D Jesuit. It looked like I thought he was still up.
I think he was too, but they were They were blowing the whistle as he was on his way down, and I think that's what they're going to say is the referee had blown the whistle, so the play was dead. That's still how it matters, even if the ball comes out, if the referee does blow his whistle. And I mean, I did hear a whistle before he had actually hit the ground. You'll watch it again. Yeah, tip ball that time by Darnell Hood, close to interference, frankly. And then we'll see right here at the end of the play, Strother. It looked like he was still up in the air, but I think I heard a whistle as he was laying there or on the verge of ending up on the ground.
Tony Collins, I believe, the ball carrier there, is the fullback, senior, 5'10", 186-pounder, running the football. So it's a gain, and actually no gain, the ball remaining at the original line of scrimmage. 7:34 to go here in the opening half of play. Jeff Hager, Tom Skinner here with the Pontiac Silverdome, the venue for the Prep Bowl championship games. Harper Woods, Bishop Gallagher with the football. They trail 7-0 to U of D Jesuit High School. Back to pass, Martinez. He's got to complete to Curry out there inside the 45 down to the 43-yard line. A gain of 7.
Martinez almost collared that time by number 54, Mike Tate, who came from his linebacker position and grabbed onto the back of his jersey. But Martinez again gets away and efficiently completes an 8-yard pass to Marcus Curry. Not trying to overdo it. I mean, certainly in this situation right now, I mean, there's no reason for Bishop Gallagher to panic by any stretch of the imagination.
And keeping the football and the quarterback keeper. And it'll be a first down for Watson. So first down and 10 for Bishop Gallagher. Ball just outside the 40-yard line. 6:48 and counting to go here in the opening half of play. Keeper that time by Martinez. And now the little flat pass complete to Curry. Nice job there by Curry. Again, yards after the catch, Jeff. Caught the ball in the left flat and made big yardage of it.
Yeah, well, you can see why he's so good at, I mean, all you got to do is get him the ball, and he can run away from just about anybody else out there. Just a short 3-step drop by Martinez. The ball's down around Curry's ankle, so just a good effort just to pick it up and then move forward and pick up 16 on the play.
So the 16-yard gain makes it first down and 10 with 6:15 to go. Ball on the 24-yard line of U of D Jesuit, and the give to Hood, and he's blasted right away by one of the Cubs. It might have been a Cub that hit him, but it was a bear hug after the big hit that brought him down. And I believe it was number 50, Leon Gawuga.
Darnell Hood continuing to have his problems. Just 5 carries for -2 yards so far in this first half, and they're going to have to get more production out of their running backs if Bishop Gallagher hopes to win this football game. I mean, you can't keep going to Marcus Curry all day long.
Curry is split, he's in the flank out to the right side with Torrin Lewis, the split end. No, it's Strother out there, and Strother makes the grab. Robert Strother with the fine square out with Curry running the slant in, created single coverage out there, and Strother with the fine catch and then run.
13-yard gain, Martinez right now. As you'll watch, just drops straight back, rolls out a little bit to his right, finds Strother. Curry standing by himself. I mean, he drew so much attention. He knew there was no way the ball was coming to him, and Strother found himself open in front of the defense, and now they find themselves on the 11-yard line.
We've got receivers to both sides. Pro set look this time. Rolling out to his right and tossing, tipped and nearly completed in the end zone. The Martinez pass intended, I believe, for
Mazzaring, I think, was the first guy who got some hands on it, and he tipped the ball, and Strother almost came up with the tip ball.
Jeff Mazzaring, the tight end, nearly coming up with that grab, and instead, once it was tipped, kind of a hot potato type thing, it found the turf, and a sigh of relief collectively escapes the throats of the U of D Jesuit fans below us.
still got 3 more cracks here at this end zone.
4:59 to play in the opening half. Reverse pivot. They give to Hood, and he breaks the tackle and twists down inside the 10, down near the 5. So one of his best runs of the football game, and he's going to be given credit for a 6-yard pickup.
6 carries for 4 yards right now for Darnell Hood. And as much as Martinez has shown the ability to throw the football here in this first half, it's clear that they're going to need Hood and they're going to need Tony Collins to step up and give them some sort of a rushing attack here tonight.
3rd down and 4, clock winding down. We're at 4:25 to play here. Sam Martinez barking the signals out. Reverse pivot and the toss to Hood. Racing to the corner. Hood, touchdown! Bishop Gallagher. They pulled to within a point.
Well, there you go. That's the Darnell Hood I remembered from last year. Just showing speed and finding the lane and staying in the lane and just running for the corner of the end zone is what he did on that play. And Darnell Hood gets Bishop Gallagher on the board with a very important touchdown, an impressive drive down the field. They moved that one, clearly the best offense that they've played all day.
Bishop Gallagher will try the point after, and it is successful, tying the game at 7. The drive began after a tipped ball was intercepted by Robert Strother. Took it up inside, got it to the 49-yard line of U of D Jesuit, and this is the capper.
Yeah, see Hood, I mean, that time he's just running the whole time. He's not necessarily looking to try to create anything. He's just taking what the defense gives him and making the most of it, finding a little place to cut back there. But I mean, he was running for the corner of the end zone from the start, the way the play was designed. And I think that's probably what Coach George Sahadi's been saying over on the sideline is, hey, let's run the plays that we've been running all week in practice. Let's do the things that we know we can do on the football field to win.
9 plays and 49 yards. And I think when you see the shot of Darnell Hood right there, I think maybe the term that would fit most was patience. He waited and was confident that something would open. When he saw it, he grabbed the opportunity and raced it in from 5 yards out. Kick taken at the 15-yard line by Watson. Watson is going to go all the way. 80. Well, no, hold on. Curry trying to chase it.
I think he's going to outrun him.
And Watson will go 85 yards. Electricity strikes with 4 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Lightning striking in the form of Ashanti Watson, 5'10", 190 pounds. And Watson goes the distance, and the lead back in the hands of U of D Jesuit.
Well, this is just a great treat for fans to watch when you watch 2 of the faster guys in all of high school football in the state in a foot race. And it looked like Marcus Curry was conceding the touchdown at about the 6-yard line. He said, that's it, you're in.
Kick is up, and it's perfect. Oh, my.
Couple of I guess you'd call them, if we were near Swartz Creek right now, you'd call them a couple of thoroughbreds right there. But Ashanti Watson has got the upper hand so far in this game. His team is up 14-7, and a lot of it is due to his ability to run.
Well, we heard the U of D Jesuit student section earlier calling out, "We got Watson." They certainly do, and here you go again.
Perfect wall they set up here, and he just blasts right through it. And before, Curry kind of outruns the coverage a little bit, and then he's got to try to play catch up. And you see, he kind of just lets him go at about the 5-yard line. It says, "You're in the end zone."
Whomever it is on that kick coverage team that is the safety got kind of sucked up into that wedge a little bit. And wow.
It's real easy to do, I think, if you tend to be watching the play instead of covering your area. I mean, like you said, you've got very specific areas to cover when you're the safety valve on kick coverage. But if you start getting caught up in watching the play, sometimes what will happen is exactly what we saw there. He thought things had gotten bottled up and was coming up to help out, and all of a sudden, before you know it, Ashanti Watson's got a full head of steam and is going right by him.
Just a sliver of a window opened up, and Watson just, boom, accelerated to it and threw it for 85 yards and a touchdown. Now 1st down and 10 now as with 3:53 to go here in the opening half. After a score in the opening drive for U of D Jesuit, things quieted down on the scoring front until the last 21 seconds of clock time. We've had 2 scores.
And Martinisi's got to come right back here and be patient, just like he was on the last drive.
He'll drop back to throw. He's pressured, throws it across the middle, and he gets rid of it, but pays a little bit of a price. Ball was intended for Marcus Curry out there. It fell about 6 yards shy of the receiver.
I'll tell you, he almost paid a big price because Brad Sheldon, the linebacker, was in the vicinity, the closest player to the football by probably 10 yards. And had that ball stayed up a little bit more, Sheldon would have been headed back the other way. Maybe not with a touchdown, but certainly setting up U of D Jesuits with some great field position. That was one of the mistakes that Martinisi just can't afford to make.
Ball on the 34-yard line. 2nd down and 10 coming up. Bishop Gallagher trailing 14-7. Receivers to both sides again. Martinisi will throw across the middle, intended for Strother, and he had to go up high for it and slip through his hands. Coverage out there by Sean Rowland.
But you got to see on that play, though, an example of how well Martinisi can throw the football. I mean, that was a major league throw that he made to Strother in double coverage. I mean, he threw a dart right to him. And frankly, you know, the old adage, my old receivers coach used to tell me, if you can get a hand on the ball, you should have caught it. And I mean, I think that was one that Strother, even though he had to outstretch for, he got both hands on it, maybe should have come down with it.
Now taking Casey Stengel, former Yankee and Met manager, said anybody can field the easy ones when it comes to catching the ball defensively. Now up the gut, Tony Collins with some tough yards, and in fact he's going to take that ball up outside the 40, just outside the 40-yard line. It'll set up 4th down though.
And the punt team, I think, is coming on. Martinisi got one blocked a little while ago. See what happens this time.
Well, the gain is going to be of 6, so it's 4th down and 4, and we'll see what happens with Watson back there waiting for
timeout here. There was a lot of confusion on the Jesuit side of the ball. I don't think they believed that Bishop Gallagher was indeed going to punt this ball at first, and they had some confusion in terms of the guys they had on the field.
So they'll call a timeout. That'll be their 2nd timeout they've used in this first half. 1 left for U of D Jesuit. You're watching this championship football game, part of the Prep Bowl Saturday at the Pontiac Silverdome on the Catholic Television Network of Detroit, CTND, part of the Michigan High School Sports Network Television Edition. I want to remind you folks, with all the high school football playoff excitement that we're just about ready to roll into, the Great Lakes Prep Roundup, a statewide high school sports talk show, is now broadcast on the internet. Go to www.asn.net. That's Fridays from 9 to 11 p.m. Catch you up to date on action from around the state of Michigan, and a lot of interesting features on players, coaches, cheerleaders, the band, you name it. Outstanding program. And you can get that on the internet. We'll remind you about that a couple more times. You can jot that information down. Now Martinisi is back to kick, and it's a good one.
Great punt.
Taken by Watson at the 20. Shaking. Rattling, rolling, and
whoa, look at that flag come in.
got a flag flying in from about 20 yards away.
That looked like a jart coming in there. Usually when that flag comes in there, there's either an illegal block or a clip, so that's probably what we're looking at, a hold, I guess.
A block to the back or something in that menu that you threw out there. It'll be a 13-yard return, and they're going to subtract a little bit after the whistle stops play. 2:49 to go here in the opening half of play. 14-7 our score. And hello down below, the team on the field helping to provide the pictures here at the Pontiac Silverdome. Thank Tom Lengel, our executive producer, and the whole team behind the scenes. Dan Blakeney, our director, and we're enjoying this one. Offset eye, receivers to both sides. Watson barking the signals out. Looks across the middle and nearly complete to number 42 with the one-hand attempt, Jordan Fields, and then nearly intercepted when it went through his hands by number 20, Tony Collins.
Well, Collins, it looked like he was conceding the catch to him and was ready to make a hit on him or trying to at least break it out. If he had looked up, he might have came up with a pick, and I don't think he had anything but real estate in front of him.
Well,
So-
as a former linebacker, Jeff, I know my first thought was deliver the mail postage due when the guy is stretched out across the middle. So I can understand Tony Collins thinking hit first instead of interception. Again, the offset eye look. Receivers again to both sides. The give deep to Perkins. Spins away from one would-be tackler.
Boy.
Reverses his field, picks up a block. He's got room to run back inside. This guy is electric.
First down, too. First down on a play that looked like it might gain 1. That's a tremendous run there.
Eyes in the side of his head as well as in front, it looked like there.
Unofficially, I have him for 8 carries, 45 yards, Mr. Perkins.
And that's 5.6 yards a carry. I think that'll work quite nicely. Split right, slot right. Judge is the split man in the slot out there, James Fields.
Watch
Rolling.
the backside blitz.
Oh, and Watson got blasted as he let it go, and that's just a free-for-all for the receiver and the defender, and Watson slow to get up, but he does.
That time James Fields making the play almost from a defensive position because Darnell Hood was trying to come down with it. I don't know if he would have been able to come down with it in bounds, but James Field that time, sometimes the wide receiver, you'll watch it here, sometimes the wide receiver turns into a defensive player, but wow, look at number 72, just bearing down on Watson. Good play by Fields that time to try to at least bump Hood loose and not allow him to make the interception. 72's Harry Brown, and boy, he came in unmolested that time.
Offset eye look again. We've seen that a lot. Now Watson to throw, no one open, he'll run. Room to run. Picks up a block.
See you
and
later.
He's going to go the distance this time. Watson, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. 69 yards. Ashanti Watson.
What a treat that was. When you said nobody was open, I almost jumped in at that point, Tom, and said nobody but the middle of the field is open. Because it clearly, I mean, it was like the parting of the Red Sea, or in this case, the White Sea, the Bishop Gallagher defense. All of a sudden, Watson looked up in front of him and said, man, I've got a lane I could drive a truck through. He ran right through it, and before you know it, he's in the end zone.
69 yards, and the lead is 20-7, and trying to tack on the point after attempt will be Joe Ward. From the hold of Patrick Judge, the ball is spotted, the kick is up, and it splits the uprights. And just like that, U of D Jesuit has taken the lead a step further from 14-7. The 85-yard answer to the Bishop Gallagher touchdown. Ashani Watson comes back with a 69-yard answer again. And this young man, I'm thinking Marcus Curry.
Sure, everybody was.
And this young man, and we'll watch it again, Jeff, talk about that open field in the middle you were talking about instead of the open receiver.
Well, like you said, the receivers are all covered here. He doesn't really have anything. And then he looks up, and the whole center of the field is just opened up for him.
Nice block there by the receiver downfield.
And when your receivers are blocking for you, Robert Strother making the valiant effort, but realized, too, that once young Mr. Watson was inside the 5-yard line, he was going to be difficult to catch.
I'm hoping that I'm giving the credit correctly, pardon me, to that downfield block. I believe it was Mark Hammer, number 23.
He's done a lot out here today. He's a very talented individual, both offensively and defensively.
It was either 23 Hammer or 22 Fields. Ball taken at about the 10, and not much room once he got to the 20-yard line.
Well, someone most people know that follow high school football around the state of Michigan, writer for the Detroit Free Press and well-known columnist as well, Mick McCabe, puts out his prep rankings each week, and certainly Harper Woods Bishop Gallagher to this point deservedly near the top of their projected division, Division 8 at number 1. I don't find U of D Jesuit anywhere, but it's hard for me to imagine Mick not knowing about this team. Of course, he is a former Catholic school graduate himself, having gone to Allen Park Cabrini. So interesting that this team may be one of the best kept secrets in the state. They're a very talented football team.
1:32 to go here in the opening half of play. Milton Johnson's 13-yard return setting up this possession for Bishop Gallagher. And they've got to be a bit stunned, because I think that the point you made about the the less heralded U of D Jesuit team here coming out and really controlling the football game in all phases.
Well, they've got big play individuals. We've spoken about Bishop Gallagher, and really their big plays have been, for the most part, limited or contained thus far. But Ashani Watson has just been one big play after another from the opening kickoff return.
Hood the carry on 2nd down and 10, and he's got pretty good yardage out near the 30. They're going to mark him about half a yard shy of the 30. Give him a gain of
almost
call it 6.
8 carries, 15 yards now for Hood. He's having some struggles early, but he's had 3 or 4 good carries in a row.
So it'll be 3rd down and 4 with the clock at 1 minute to play here in the opening half of play. 7 points in the opening quarter put up by U of D Jesuit. They've added 14 in the second quarter after a 7-spot put on the board by Bishop Gallagher. Pass across the middle, caught by Mastering.
Trouble.
Picks up a block downfield by Struther. And Mastering is inside U of D Jesuit territory, and that'll be down to about the 48-yard line.
You know, something that I think was taken for granted or wasn't really taken advantage of for years in football, the aspect of receivers blocking. And we've seen some great blocking from receivers today, both on passes and runs. You pointed out the ones on Watson's 69-yard touchdown run. Robert Struther, though, made a good block for Mazering to pick up an additional 5 yards. Downfield blocking, especially by your receivers, boy, that can open up some big yardage for you.
Back to throw, complete, incomplete, goes through the hands of Struther and nearly into the hands of the free safety, Desmond Crenshaw.
Almost his second chance he's had at a pick today.
A little bit of the hot potato work there, so it'll be 2nd down now and 10 to go with 32 seconds left to play here in the opening half of play. Jeff Hager and Tom Skinner coming to you from the Pontiac Silverdome with the Prep Bowl here with the Catholic Television Network of Detroit and the Michigan High School Sports Network Television Edition.
32 seconds to go. We'll see if Bishop Gallagher doesn't take a couple of cracks at the end zone. They'll get the ball to start the second half.
Back to throw. Martinez, and it's intended for Curry, defended out there by Robert Perkins.
I think he was expecting Curry to run a little bit more of an out pattern than what he did. I think Curry may have taken a few extra steps downfield, because that was a timing throw that you saw from Martinez there. He was just lofting the ball up and throwing to a spot on the field, expecting Curry to be there.
Well, it'll be 3rd down now and 10 to go.
Already put the ball up 13 times in this game as Bishop Gallagher. They're easily on their way to maybe a 30 pass performance here today.
They've got work cut out for them, trailing by 14. Snap to Martinez. He'll roll right on the keeper now, and he'll be chased out of bounds along the far sideline. He got inside the 40. Well, no, they're going to spot him at the 46-yard line. I thought he got inside the 45 instead of a 4 or 5 yard gain that it looked to be. It'll be just a couple. So 4th down and 8.
4th and 8 with 18 seconds to go, and getting the first down here obviously paramount, but you don't want to do anything that foolish that would give U of D Jesuit a chance to score again here before the end of the first half, because you're going to get the ball to start the second half. Better to be down by 14 than potentially 21 going into the third quarter. Now Coach George Sahadi wants to talk things over. It seems to be just in terms of Bishop Gallagher today, great deal of confusion offensively, and I think we saw the one replay that I was a little surprised when they were walking up to the line of scrimmage. It just didn't seem like they were into the game in this first half, and that's something I think that's got to change for them in the second half if they're going to get back into it.
Well, the coach on the sidelines opposite of us, been around for a long time, as George Sahadi, and he'll get that focus again that his team may be lost at some point in that first quarter. He'll get it back right now with 18 seconds left and the big play capabilities of Marcus Curry and the very capable receivers out there, and Mastering at tight end and Strother at wide receiver. I think right now you'll see them on fourth down. First of all, they're gonna have to think about not only the confidence that he has in his defense, but weigh that and measure it against the big play possibilities of Watson. You really have to think about this all the way through as to what you're going to do on fourth down here from the 46 of U of D Jesuit.
Well, Watson's playing free safety, and he's back at least 16, 17 yards off the line of scrimmage right now, basically as a safety valve.
Curry's going to have single coverage because they'll have to take it up and pick either Curry or Strother. They'll go to Curry out there. He picks a block up from Strother. He's got first down yardage, and he's out of bounds. Oh, wow, that was dangerous over there. Looked like a plant foot might have twisted, but these guys are young and limber. You or I might have been on the ground wincing there, but Curry is okay.
Somebody bring a pair of crutches for Tom up here because he just hurt himself watching the play.
I did. I grabbed my left knee and thinking, oh, man, that's got to hurt. So the 4th and 8 conversion there by Bishop Gallagher, big.
Indeed, it was big. Now 6 of 14, and that pickup good for 17 yards.
So now with 9 seconds left, they're going to have at most, I would think, 2 plays here, and depending upon how long this one goes, it could be just one. Throwing it out there for Curry, and it's going to be picked off. Perkins back there has intercepted it, and now he'll try to make something of it. Oh, and he's got room to run.
He's got a lot of room to make of it. Look
out here. Cuts back, picks up a block, and finally brought down as time winds down. Oh my, Robert Perkins with a little bit of the lightning in his step as well.
Great half by U of D Jesuit. The Cubs came out here relatively unknown, I think, across the state, but boy, if they can play another half like they did this first half, everybody will know who this team is come next week in the playoffs.
21-7 our score at halftime from the Pontiac Silverdome with the Boys Football Prep Bowl 1999, and it has been an electrifying first half with the big play potential we were looking at for Curry and the realities that Ashanti Watson has played out here on the field, not only as a quarterback but also as a return man. He has gone 85 yards for his score. Returning a kick, he's gone 69 yards on a run from scrimmage after the pass protection broke down and the receivers recovered. Jeff, this young man has stolen the spotlight from Marcus Curry.
Well, not only that, he came out throwing the ball early and completed some passes. He had a punt return of over 30 yards, a kickoff return, and another kickoff return of over 30 yards. The big plays have been on his side today, and that certainly has really, I think, stunned Bishop Gallagher. I think that's what we were looking at in this first half. Like you mentioned, a stunned Bishop Gallagher team.
U of D Jesuit got on the board first, 10 plays, 54 yards. Opening drive of the football game. Robert Perkins going 2 yards to complete that 10-play drive on a 3rd down and goal from the 2, and the extra point kick was perfect, and that was our score after 1 quarter of play. And answering back in the second quarter, 4:14 left to play in the second quarter, 9 plays, 49 yards, and it was Darnell Hood with the 5-yard scamper on 3rd down from the 3rd down and 4 to go, and the extra point was good. And Jeff Hager, 7-7. U of D Jesuit see the lead. They see the lead wiped out, and maybe people are thinking that this Bishop Gallagher team that has gotten all the ink is now back in the game and ready to show who's boss out here. And instead, Ashanti Watson goes 85 yards on the ensuing kickoff, brought the crowd below us from U of D Jesuit to their feet, stunned the crowd across the way. Point after was good, and it was 14-7. And then with 1:38 left to go, it was back to Ashanti Watson on 2nd down and 10, deep in their own territory. He goes 69 yards. The kick is good. 21-7 our score after 2 quarters of play. U of D Jesuit. Some terrific play out here by both teams at times, but the majority of the time by U of D Jesuit. And as we take a pause here, we invite you to enjoy our halftime performance from the bands here. You're watching the Prep Bowl Championships from the Pontiac Silverdome.
And now the band will play the big band classic, Big Noise from Winnetka, featuring Dan Serreras on trumpet. And to close our show, the band will perform the Latin classic, Gingy. The U of D Band would like to thank the parents, faculty, and staff for all of their support. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Catholic High School pom-pom squads as they take the field. Participating today are pom-pom squads from Bishop Foley, Cabrini, Divine Child, Gabriel Richard of Riverview, and Mercy High Schools. The performance is under the direction of Ms. Jerry Connor from Bishop Foley High School.
Your music is on.
Great job, ladies. Once again, that performance was directed by Ms. Jerry Connor from Bishop Foley.
And welcome back to the Pontiac Silverdome along with Jeff Hager. I'm Tom Skinner. It's part of the Michigan Catholic the Catholic Television Network of Detroit and the Michigan High School Sports Network Television Edition with coverage of the Prep Bowl from the Silverdome. And in the powder blue to our right, Harper Woods, Bishop Gallagher. They came in ranked number 1 in what will more than likely be their division, Division 8. 7-1 in the season. Their only loss to number 2 in Division 7, Genesee High School. They are 8-0, and they're taking on a team here in this football game, U of D Jesuit High, that is up the chain a little bit when it comes to the divisions, and they're showing maybe that that's enough to separate them from a good Bishop Gallagher team. Run out of bounds, Marcus Curry. He delivered a shot, and Robert Perkins delivered a shot back to him, but not before Curry gets to the 43-yard line.
A little head-on-head job there between Curry and as you pointed out, Perkins on that play. Yeah, watching the kick coverage here, Curry just trying to create some room for himself. And finding out a little bit more about this U of D Jesuit team at halftime, there are some other coaches here scouting already for the playoffs, and potentially one team that they could face, Grosse Pointe North. Just talking about how they'll probably end up in Division 2, as you mentioned, Tom. But this, of course, the tri-sectional wild card championship in the Catholic League.
In the give inside to number 20, hard-running Tony Collins. Let's set this Bishop Gallagher offense for you. The center is Terry Canny. His guards are Cedric Louie and Harry Brown. The tackles are Joe Curry and Josh Bollinger. The tight end, Jeff Massering. Wide receivers, Torrin Lewis and Marcus Curry. Fullback, Tony Collins. Darnell Hood's the tailback. He has scored the lone touchdown for Bishop Gallagher here, and Sam Martinisi is the quarterback. We'll get you the defense in just a moment. 2nd down and 6 to go. The toss to Hood. Brought down at about the line of scrimmage.
Right, the Cubs defense just doing a good job of closing down what looked like a pretty good hole to begin with. Closing it down very quickly that time was number 46, Brad Sheldon, one of the inside linebackers. And right now they've just done a great job of shutting things down very quickly.
There you see the defense right there. Kyle Jackson, Eric Berry, Mike Tate, Ben Macarella, and Leon Gawuga, the defensive 5 front in the 5-man look across that line of scrimmage. We'll give you the LBs and secondary in a moment. Back to throw. Martinisi is complete to Curry. Loses one defender, spins away from another, and the original defender who was beaten on the play comes back and makes the tackle, and I believe that was Brad Sheldon. Linebackers for the Cubs of U of D Jesuit High, Brad Sheldon, Joe Ward, and Jordan Fields. Robert Perkins and Sean Rowland in the corners, and Desmond Crenshaw, the safety, who tried to come over and stop this catch here.
Good play again, and again Curry catching the ball short of the first down, but spins and moves and picks up more than enough to move the chains.
We did not call the name out of the defense all that often, but they were in the first half as far as individual names, but I tell you what, they were terrific out there in that first half, limiting this Bishop Gallagher offense to just one score.
Brad Sheldon, the inside linebacker we were talking about just a few moments ago, has his head in, as a lot of linebackers do, on a number of plays. Defenses, especially on running plays, designed for linebackers to come up and make the stop.
Linebackers' first read has to be run. The middle linebacker is the quarterback on defense. Receivers, 2 of them to the right. Rolling to his right is Martinisi, and it's nearly picked off, intended for Curry. And out there defending, Mark Hammer.
I think Curry was trying to tell Martinisi, too, throw that ball to the outside. Don't throw it in the middle where a safety man can run over and make a play like that. Throw that ball to the outside, more toward the sideline. I'll go get it. You know, and that's the thing to say when you're talking about the differences in size between U of D Jesuit and Bishop Gallagher. You know, Bishop Gallagher, even though they're going to be a Division 8 team, that's why they're so highly regarded. And even if they lose this game, it may not reflect a whole lot in terms of how well they do in the playoffs if they're in, indeed, Division 8 like everybody expects them to be.
Back to throw, Martinisi thrown across. Well, it looked like it was going to be a crossing pattern there on the 12 and up and over with Curry, but the ball thrown behind him, and they're not on the same page.
Yeah.
You made that point earlier in the football game, Jeff. It just didn't look like Bishop Gallagher was on the same page, whether it was quarterback, center, snap count, or in the other aspects of the offense.
Yeah, I just think that, for some reason they looked a little bit more confused than I've seen them. I remember I watched them play a Fowler team, a much smaller school, but they just came out and absolutely torched them in the first game of the year. They didn't even let them up for air.
Oh, and not letting him up for air, at least without a struggle, is the punter Martinezzi, and a perfect kick. Coffin corner from the 37, which is the original, or where the line of scrimmage actually was. The kick actually, taking place several yards behind him, and it goes out of bounds inside the 5. They'll mark it at the 4, and what a good execution of the Coffin corner by Martinezzi.
Well, it's a twofold as far as that punt's concerned. It's good for two reasons. Number one, they kept the ball away from Watson. Secondly, it puts them with their backs against their own goal line at the 4-yard line. Now let's see if the BG defense can do something here.
First down and 10 from the 5, and the give off right tackle, and it looks like Robert Perkins might have gotten a couple on the play.
Might give him out to about the 7. Tony Collins came up from the linebacker post and made the stop. This would be really key, I think, if Bishop Gallagher could force a 3 plays and out here with U of D Jesuit. I think that might give them an opportunity, not necessarily to block a punt, but at least make the Cubs punt from their own end zone.
They work deep within their own territory. Receivers to the right side, a couple of them. Offset eye, reverse pivot, and Watson shook the tackle, and he's eventually brought down by the guy that hit him the first time, number 51 out there, Aaron Grays. But Watson shows some toughness there as well.
Well, he showed some toughness, and he also showed to Aaron Grays why you don't tackle high, but you tackle low. Aaron Grays tried to wrestle Shawnee Watson down at the shoulder level, and a lot of coaches will tell you, when you tackle somebody, you got to hit them low. And he didn't do that time, and turned what could have been a loss into a significant gain. Now they're at 3rd and 1 at the 13-yard line.
I would think you'd see Watson on some kind of an option here. So the defense has to pick what they want to do, pick their poison. No, he'll go quarterback draw.
Good call.
Out to the 20, and that'll be good enough for a first down, gain of 6 on the play.
Quarterback draw is always a good call when you got a quarterback who has 4.4 speed.
Yeah, that's a luxury not often you see at the quarterback position.
I mean, all he did was drop back a couple of steps there and obviously make everybody think pass first, and then just jumped right up into the hole.
So it's first down and 10 from the 21, 7:22 to go here in the third quarter. Along with Jeff Hager, Tom Skinner with the CTND coverage, Catholic Television Network of Detroit, and brought down for no gain, maybe even a loss, was Robert Perkins, and it will be a loss of 1.
2 runs right there by Watson have pushed his rushing total for the game up over 100 yards.
Harry Brown on the tackle that time. Fine play by Brown, the 6-foot, 192-pound senior. 6:45 to go here. Second down and 11.
See if they throw here.
Offset eye look. Watson. Draw. The give to Perkins, and the defense sniffs it out pretty good. He picked up yardage back to the original line of scrimmage and maybe a couple more. And give him a gain of 4. No, give him a gain of 3 on the play.
3rd and 8, but Watson so dangerous. Now we'll see Martinezzi, who seldom plays defense. We're going to see him come into the play here to help out in terms of pass coverage right now because they're expecting pass.
3rd down and 8.
Blitz.
Watson back to throw. Fires it out there, complete to Perkins. Picks up a couple of blocks, reverses his field. He's got some room to run.
And more.
And we're going to have it called back on a clip. And that is a tough break for U of D Jesuit. For Bishop Gallagher, fortuitous break because the big play will go for naught.
Well, it's a tough break, first of all, that they didn't get the sack. Again, high tackling. No, people, and I'm sure Coach George Sahadi's pleading with his team right now. Guys, when you hit somebody, you got to hit them below the waist. You got to tackle them around the legs. You cannot let, especially a Shawnee Watson, you can't go high on him. They try to go high on him again, bounce right off. Put your shoulder into the tackle, and then Perkins just makes a great run, but helped out a little bit by the illegal block.
And you know what? That was a break for Bishop Gallagher. The guy touched the guy in the back with his hands, but didn't push him down, didn't create any advantage there by the contact. So I think that the Bishop Gallagher defense right there breathing a sigh of relief when they see that again, that they'll be not only happy with the way it played out, but realizing that it might have been a bit of a break there. Now Watson, option, he'll keep it.
He got torn, look out.
Watson to the 30. And if they spot
first down
past the 30, which it looks like they will, that's going to be a first down.
Well, he was about 2 steps from taking that one all the way, and that would have been in the neighborhood of, what, 90 yards? 89.
Oh my.
When he hits this right here, first of all, watch the cornerback, Torrin Lewis, over pursuit that time.
And then downfield, just kind of tying up the would-be a potential tackler, Mark Hammer again, the wide receiver. You know, if they knock a guy down, to be effective with a block. Screen
blitz
pass.
Again. Boom.
Oh my.
Cedric Louis, what a hit.
And Sean Rowland collecting his thoughts there, making sure all the parts are in working order.
Well, it looks like Bishop Gallagher is willing to take some risks and blitz Watson more and make him make quicker decisions. We've seen him have to do that here in the second half. You know, in the first half, he had a lot of time back there and didn't always necessarily have, he had receivers covered, but he was able to create so much. Now it looks like the idea is to blitz him a little bit more, make him make quicker decisions, and perhaps he'll make mistakes.
You have D Jesuit recognizing that the defense is taking chances. They give to Perkins. Perkins could go. He's got to run away from Curry now. Curry's going to chase him down. 20, 15, down to the 12-yard line. And Perkins with the big run. 55 yards for Robert Perkins.
We look at Perkins here as he goes over the 100-yard mark for the game, so that's 2 players now for U of D Jesuit over 100 yards, the quarterback Watson and the tailback Perkins. And I mean, Marcus Curry was going to catch him that time, but I'll tell you what, Perkins did a nice job, and we'll see it here, after he breaks into the clear. And he knows, you know what, I think he knows, Marcus Curry, he looked for him real quick and saw him there. He knows he's still out there, so he says, I'm going to stretch this as far as I can to the left sideline and make him chase me down. I might not get in the end zone, but I'm going to get as many yards out of this as I can.
And, Jeff, you talked earlier about high tackles hurting this Bishop Gallagher team. Another high tackle attempt at midfield, and it didn't happen, and we saw another 30 yards tacked on. Ball run wide on that left side over there.
Sean Rowland's first carry of the game is Perkins, I'm sure, getting a quick breather after ripping off that 54-yarder.
And Rowland has just recovered from that hit on the screen pass that he took. So the run and the pass, and Rowland now is fully into it.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, there was no doubt when you saw Perkins and you knew he was breaking in the clear. He knew Marcus Curry was still out there, and he looked for him, and he found him. And I think that it was clear that he felt that I got a chance of being caught here, but I'm going to take this thing all the way over to the left sideline. He still made a fantastic gain out of it.
Split right, slot right, offset eye. Tight end is to the opposite side. Slant pass. Whoa! Closest man to come up with that. In fact, the closest two were Torrin Lewis and Darnell Hood, defensive backs.
Yeah, again, it appears the BG defense is still trying to rush Watson, and that time probably one of the poorer decisions he's made today, because that ball could have very easily been picked off.
You know, you talked earlier, just a couple of minutes ago, about U of D Jesuit looking at a defense that's putting pressure on, is taking some chances. We've seen a couple of plays. One, the screen pass on first down to try to take away or nullify the pressure of the pass rush and the defense. And now on 2nd and 3, they throw the ball. They're trying to keep this defense off balance. Now Perkins, he's running tough down inside the 2, and if they spot him where it looked from this vantage point he got to, I would think that that's going to be a first down.
It's going to be real close. I think he's got the distance because the spot looks like it's going to be at the 1, and indeed he does. So now that sets up 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. And, I mean, you give a Shawnee Watson first 4 cracks to get it in from the 1. I got to believe he's going to find a way, one way or another.
So it's 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. 3:44 to go here in this 3rd quarter. U of D Jesuit 21, Bishop Gallagher 7. Receivers wide to both sides. Double tight end look. Lone setback is Perkins. They give to him, and he's hit immediately by number 72, and that's Henry Brown, the senior.
Well, Brown, we've called his number more than once today, and he's a fantastic outside linebacker and has caused a lot of trouble when he can for this U of D Jesuit offense today. That was a great play on Perkins that time.
That's a loss of 3 on the play, so it's 2nd and goal from the 4. There you see that defensive front right now. The old days when you played it outside, you just draw a line with your foot and say they can't go past here to your teammates. Now on 2nd and goal, the Watson option. The Watson touchdown. 4 yards out, drive a truck through it.
Good recognition that time. I mean, great call. When you run the option when you've got a quarterback that's as talented as he is. And, I mean, that's just give him the opportunity to either pitch if he has to or just wait for a hole to open up, and that's all he did, and then just cut straight up the field.
Ashanti Watson with the touchdown.
Number 3 on the day for Watson, by the way.
He's done it in a lot of different ways. The snap is perfect. The hold is there. The kick is inside the left upright. And the lead has been extended to 28-7. The University of Detroit Jesuit High School rolling big over Bishop Gallagher at the Pontiac Silverdome. 2:40 to play here in the 3rd.
And let's remind ourselves, too, that Bishop Gallagher, if they cannot come back in this game and make a game out of it, they'll finish the year at 7-2, but they're still going to be one of the most dangerous teams in their division because of their team speed. What they're seeing out here today is just one player in particular. I mean, U of D Jesuit is a good football team. There's no getting around it, but they have a great player in Ashanti Watson.
An excellent player. And if we can ask our crew in the truck and test them just a bit to bring that back one more time, you're going to see an outstanding block by the right guard, Mike Tate. Gets up, turns, and just arcs back, arcs the defender back towards the heart of the line. And that really helped open up the hole. Watch number 54. He's the right guard. Comes out, and actually decent penetration, but he just turns the guy with outside of the tackle on that right side. Aaron Taylor kicks it to the outside, and then a big hole for Watson to run in. Squibber trying to negate Curry's capabilities, and it gets by him. Oh, he's got to pick that up. Curry.
A lot of trouble.
In a lot of trouble. He was hoping the impetus of the kick would get all the way to the end zone, and then he realized he'd made the wrong decision.
You know, you pointed out that block, Tom, and certainly technique is very important in blocking, but sometimes you can be an effective blocker by just getting in the way, and that's exactly what he did right there. Just getting in the way of the defense and giving your player enough time to search and find a hole.
And Jeff, when you have a quarterback, in this case a quarterback running the football, when you have a player with the quickness of Watson, you don't have to be in the way very long or to hold the block very long, because he'll identify the hole and get to it. Quarterback keeper, oh, and my goodness, he took a shot. Martinisi trying to just get a little breathing room, and he took a big hammer among those in there. Number 54, Mike Tate, doing it on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I'm sure Martinisi doesn't want to run too many more of those. Pay for it up the middle.
They're going to give him a gain of 2 on the play, so it'll be 2nd down and 8. 2 minutes even left to play here in the 3rd.
See how conservative Bishop Gallagher here is in the shadow of their own goalposts.
Martinisi, quick out, connects with Curry. Curry runs over one would-be tackler, finally chased out of bounds along the far sideline, but he made the defender pay before he was finally chased out of bounds by Brad Sheldon.
Well, that's a good play. Anytime you see one-on-one coverage on Marcus Curry, you call that play because, like you said, he's a guy that with a short 2 or 3 step drop, you can get him the ball 5 yards down the field, and he can add another 5 or 6 yards minimum to each catch. I mean, that's a ball you just throw to him right away.
Gain of 11 on the play. It's first down now and 10. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. I formation. Martinez barking the call out, the toss. And Darnell Hood trying to make the best of a difficult situation, and that defense strung him out, and the inside pursuit put him away.
Yeah, I think, again, Darnell was just looking for something that wasn't there, and by the time you start making that decision, and by the time you come to a stop as a running back, watch right here, I really think that if he had just kept it up inside, he might have gotten a couple. Maybe not, but they were swarming all over him, but still there wasn't much anywhere for him to go. And once you make that stop as a running back, you've almost sealed yourself.
Fate that time dealing him a 6-yard loss, so it's second down and 6. Fate and that U of D defense. Pass across the middle, complete to Curry. He's out to the 25. Gain of 12 on the play, maybe 13 if they spot it at the 26.
One of your favorite players today, Mark Hammer, again in on the play defensively.
That's a great name if you're a defender. Here it is again.
Yep, making the tackle that time. And the difference also coming up to make the hit, that time number 36 is Desmond Crenshaw, the safety. They're hitting low, though. You noticed on that particular play, hitting below the waist. That's what you got to do effectively to make tackles.
We're going to have a timeout called by Bishop Gallagher. And the tackling challenges, I think, more times than not that we've seen today have been on the defensive side of the ball when Bishop Gallagher's been out there. I think they've had a couple of guys who have just been tackling a little bit high. And I think that the U of D Jesuit team has been a little better in that particular area. Folks, you're watching the Catholic Television Network of Detroit's broadcast of the Prep Bowl from the Pontiac Silverdome, working in conjunction with the Michigan High School Sports Network Television Edition. Appreciate the opportunity to come out here, bring in this football game, and stay tuned for the other games as part of the Prep Bowl programming on the Catholic Television Network of Detroit. And we want to remind you that tapes are available for folks out there who want to save the memories. And you can order tapes through CTND at 305 Michigan Avenue, Detroit, Michigan, 48226, or by calling area code 313-237-5938.
A couple of those games coming up a little bit later. Ann Arbor Gabriel Richard, the Class C champion, against Marine City Cardinal Moody, the D champ. And then great one tonight, Birmingham Brother Rice and Detroit Catholic Central.
Tough, hard run inside by Tony Collins. And on third down, Collins is going to have first down yardage by about, half the length of a football.
That'll be the final play of the third quarter.
3, 2, 1 as the clock winds down.
And you see the University of Detroit Jesuit players walking off with their hands extended, holding up 4 fingers. I would guess that means the fourth quarter is ours, gentlemen.
They would love for that to play out.
Rally, that's a rallying cry, I'm sure, because the coaches are also holding their hands up as well. And in terms of getting ready for the playoffs, that's a great motto, because that's when games are won and lost in the postseason. Let's face it, we saw that evidence of that last year. Anybody that was here for the Rockford Detroit Catholic Central game in Class AA, Rockford with the lead, about 12 minutes or 10 minutes to play in the game, and Catholic Central came down and just thoroughly dominated the fourth quarter. And I think you'll find that in most of those games, the team that tends to dominate late is the one that ends up with the victory.
They will earn the W more times than not. And right now, as we go to our final 12 minutes of regulation.
Of course, with a nickname like the Cubs, you never know how you're going to do. But you're talking about baseball.
I'm not going to touch that one.
Well, I'm referring to the baseball team, of course.
The baseball Chicago Cubs. Martinez, the quarterback. He's got receivers to each side. They'll go to the slant for Curry. and Curry has to reach back for it, and as he does, the hammer is delivered by Mark Hammer.
I think these Cubs could take the baseball Cubs.
Yeah, no question about
You walk
that.
Sammy Sosa and take everybody else.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Bishop Gallagher. Coming wide to the right, Torrin Lewis. Going wide to the left will be Marcus Curry. Working against Curry one-on-one out there is Sean Rowland. They're going to throw instead to the tight end Massering, and Massering can't make the play. Joe Ward defending.
Yeah, also helping out on that play too, Jordan Fields, and they almost had a Massering sandwich right there. He did not have a whole lot of space. Martinez, now I think probably from his standpoint, he's a bit frustrated. I mean, this is a team that's enjoyed a lot of success this year. Although you were not necessarily at the Genesee game, but was that a game in which they got up early, Genesee did, and basically kind of took Bishop Gallagher out of the game?
From what I gather, yes. I was covering a different game that night, but working in the Flint area a lot, I did have a chance to read about that, and I eventually did broadcast a Genesee game later and talked to Coach Jim Massering there, and they were in control for the most part. Toss out in the left flats, nobody there. Complete to Darnell Hood, and Hood's going to have a 1st down and a couple yards more, and paying for it big time was Martinez as he was blasted as he let go of the ball by Mike Tate.
Well, Hood paid for it a little bit too, looking to try to create some more yardage, and Brad Sheldon came up from behind and let him know he was there. You can see right here he's trying to create some running room, and boom, Brad Sheldon, although they'd already picked up the 1st down, so they'll keep the drive alive.
1st down and 10, ball on the 43-yard line. Martinez with the single receivers to each side. I formation. They'll go across the middle, and the ball sails. Martinez dropped his right elbow before he threw the football.
He might be hurt.
The ball
kind of
sailed
holding on to that right knee a little bit.
There you see Martinez, number 12.
That's
a junior, 6'1", 184.
And even a strain for that right knee, even if it's not seriously hurt, that can make it very difficult to throw the football. That's your plant foot when you're a right-handed quarterback.
You can see him go to the line of scrimmage. His head was down, dauber down just a little bit. He is in pain. 2nd down and 10. Little swing pass, left flats to Hood. He's got room to run. Shakes one tackler. Finally run out of bounds after he picks up a 1st down.
Yeah, Martinez still not 100% there, and he really tried to avoid the hit that time. Almost got brought down again. And I wonder what is going through Coach George Sahadi's mind, because you're already at this point. You're already in the playoffs. It's one of those things where you don't want to see him get hurt any more seriously than he is at the moment. However, you still want to try to at least come back in this game some.
Got a player down for U of D Jesuit High, and I believe that's Brad Sheldon shaking up on the opposite side.
Way over on the other side, yeah. You can barely there. They can just guys got him on camera. Looks like it might be something of the leg variety.
Hopefully that's a minor setback for him. And waiting for a play to be sent in, and we're going to have a delay game call here shortly.
I don't know if they've started the clock yet or what. Apparently they have. Coach Sahadi's still on the field.
Lewis is flanked to the left, Curry to the right. They give right up the middle and nowhere to go in that crowded phone booth. Tony Collins in there, the lone white jersey among the maroon crowd. And he lost a yard.
And they've just had absolutely no success today running between the tackles at all. The defense has been very, very talented today for U of D Jesuit. This is a good team.
So it's 2nd down, and I call it 10.5. I formation. Back to throw, Martinisi throws it off his back foot, caught out there by Struther. And just a terrific open field tackle by the Hammer.
You know, you can tell Martinisi, though, on that throw just isn't confident in being able to stand
and plant
his foot and throw the ball. I mean, it's on that one, he sailed it again. If you watch back, he's rolling a little bit, but still he's kind of just floating it out there. Struther made a good play to come back and get the ball.
The pressure that time probably was not going to allow him to stop and plant anyway and throw off the front foot, but he is definitely in pain out there. Now a quick look to the outside. Curry.
Good stiff arm.
Curry stiff arms the Hammer, and he breaks forward inside the 30. First down yardage for Marcus Curry.
Boy, if you could get him the ball on every play, you'd have one tremendous team, because he just makes so much happen after he catches the ball.
15-yard gain on the play. First and 10. And now
Martinisi might close in on 40 passes today. They put the ball up here in the second half.
The U of D Jesuit defense trying to draw the line against this potent, explosive Bishop Gallagher team. Curry open along the far side. Nobody
wide
near him.
open. Touchdown.
Touchdown, Marcus Curry. And when you see the replay, you'll see the defense made the same decision when it came to the switch. They switched to the same man, the defenders did, and Curry wide open, and Martinisi with a good throw to him.
Well, they do that a lot. They put Curry in the slot and Struther to his outside, or Mazering to his outside, and they run the cross play with the hope of probably freeing up Curry first, but freeing up either one of them. And that time both defenders went with Struther and left him wide open.
Well, the point after attempt is up and good. 28-14 our score now. U of D Jesuit high with the lead, but the margin trimmed to 14.
We're going to take a look at this play again, and it was very confusing as far as the defense was concerned. They did not do a good job, and that's the one thing about when you're a defender back there, and something that they'll tell you as coaches you have to do as a defense is talk to one another and make sure you know who's got whom in a particular situation. Yeah, they just there's no doubt that time that Hammer turned around and said, "I thought you were taking him," and the other guy said, "No, I thought you were taking him." And neither one of them said it.
When he looked back also on that play too, Jeff, we saw at the end there, it looked as though he felt that he was going to have safety coverage, safety help behind him, and the safety wasn't there. So I'm not sure if there was a mix-up in that aspect of the coverage as well. But a communication breakdown leads to 6 points, and the point after for 7 for Bishop Gallagher. Now it's Watson, picks up a block and another one. And breaks it back inside, out to the 20. And, he only got about 11 or 12 yards on the return, but he ran about 45. Really stretched that coverage and finally made some positive yardage.
He's a tremendous player. There's no doubt one of the better players I've seen.
So it'll be first down and 10 from the 21-yard line for U of D on their own 21. They lead by 14. Pontiac Silverdome, the site for the Prep Bowl. Along with Jeff Hager, Tom Skinner on the field. Barking it out is Watson. The give to Perkins. Here. Perkins runs over one of his blockers, and Marcus Curry brings him down.
Perkins that time was basically one juke and maybe a good block on Marcus Curry. But I'll tell you what, Curry did a nice job that time from his cornerback post of holding up the blocker and trying to get it to determine which way was Robert Perkins is going to break. He's quick enough that he could throw off the blocker at that point and make a play.
And he did just that, textbook fashion for Curry, so he can do it on both sides of the ball. Offset eye look, split left, slot left, tight end to the opposite side. The give inside to Billy Sharp. And Sharp forward over the 35 before being knocked back to the 34. They'll mark the progress, I believe, up to the 36-yard line. Brown, Harry Brown into the tackle. Young man's had a fine football game. They're going to give him 4 on the play, so it'll be 2nd down and 6. Going wide to the right, Patrick Judge.
I won't be surprised to see the Cubs do anything but run the football here quite a bit of the rest of the way.
James Fields to the left. They'll run, and it'll be the option. Watson loses one would-be tackler. Busts inside Bishop Gallagher territory, inside the 50, down near the 45, maybe even into the 44-yard area, 44-yard line area.
They, right that time, Watson was just a tremendous effort on his part to pick up the first down.
20 yards on the play. Good seal out there on the outside.
I don't think have we seen him pitch more than once or twice today. I mean, he's almost elected to run on almost every occasion. He's just such a good athlete.
You can count on one hand how many times he's pitched the football. Now the fake draw, throws it across the middle, complete out there to Jordan Fields. He's not going to beat you with his arm most of the time as far as the long ball, but he has been efficient with throwing the underneath passes, and he is so dangerous running the football.
Well, as we were talking about, I think during the half, that this is a young man, I think that if he hasn't got to somebody lined up in terms of a college scholarship waiting for him, he very well may this year. He may not be a quarterback at the next level because of his size, but because you cannot, like you said earlier, you cannot teach speed, and you cannot teach elusive capability that he has.
Reverse pivot and the option. He'll keep it, and he'll have first down yardage on 2nd down and 3. They had lots of options that way, and we've seen it a couple of different times. They threw a screen pass in the 3rd quarter on 1st down, keeping that defensive pressure a little bit off balance. And then on 1st down here, they threw the underpass to Fields. I really like the play calling, Jeff, of the U of D team with this offense. Even though the defense knows that he is going to run the football a lot of the time, they are keeping the defense off balance so that they can't just tee it up on him. And right now with 1st down and 10, the Cubs go to work. Man in motion is Patrick Judge. Give deep to Perkins. Works off a nice block out there, the lead block by, I believe, that was Billy Sharp. And some good yardage picked up by Perkins, maybe 7.
Perkins gets up a little slowly, and he's looking as if he can get over to the sideline here and maybe get some water and a little bit of a breather, holding his wrist right now. Tough running today by Mr. Perkins, though. He's done a fantastic job. Lots of spin moves, I noticed as well. He spins off tackles as well as anybody I've seen.
Patrick Judge split wide to the right in the flanker position. Justin Westland. And the give right up the middle. And that's Sean Rowland, chased out of bounds by guess who? Harry Brown.
But you're talking about right now the U of D Jesuit offense. I think you brought this up. They're just wearing them down. You know, physically just wearing them down at this point. I mean, Bishop Gallagher had a little bit of a lift after that touchdown, and now you can just sense the fact that offensively they kind of hoped that they were going to be able to stop the offense of U of D Jesuit and haven't been able to on this drive.
4:45 to go. 8th play of the drive coming up. Offset eye. Rolling is deep. Option. Owen Watson's going to get blasted from behind by guess who? Harry Brown again. It'll be a loss of, about 7, maybe 8 on the play. 7.
That's the first. Is that the first sack we've seen today? It's got to be pretty close to that.
Very close. I think they've been close a couple times as he's gotten rid of the ball, but I don't think they've had a sack yet. And
this time, just a pure blitz from his outside linebacker's post, and that time Ashani Watson just never even felt the pressure at all.
Nope, coming from the backside is blind side. Man in motion is Rowland. Quarterback draw. Watson shakes a couple of arm tackles. And we're going to have a face mask penalty that'll add yardage on here. And Watson just shows his toughness. He bounces right up. Ashani Watson, 5'10", 190-pound senior.
Well, you talked about shirt tackling in one of the earlier games we did today, Tom. On that one, you grab onto anything you can get on Ashani Watson, and you get his mouth guard or anything, you got to try and slow him down.
I don't know that you could blame him if they would bring out a rope and try to just hog tie him like they do a steer out there, because he doesn't come down very easily.
No, he doesn't. At that time there, number 50, Cedric Louis, doing everything he could just to bring him to the ground.
So they convert on 4th down and 9. And now with 4th down and goal from the 9, they'll throw. Oh, and nearly picked off by
Harry Brown. And he knows it too, because what happened was Watson went down and Brown had a lot of room in front of him to run. Nothing better than watching a linebacker, a guy who plays offensive guard on the other side of the ball, to have a chance to maybe bring back a score. And it would have really changed the complexion of this game with 3:23 to go.
I had a situation like, there you go. I had a situation very similar to that in college, playing linebacker. Ball was right in my hands, had the field in front of me, and did the exact same thing, so I understand his frustration. Watson, option, keeps it, inside, touchdown. Oh my.
You know, I mean, I'm just reminded of the college football days when the option was such a popular play. Just watching his ability to recognize where the hole is and then accelerate through that hole. You know, there just aren't that many teams that run the option anymore. I mean, Nebraska perhaps comes to mind, and usually they have to have a pretty speedy quarterback in order to do that. But not many college teams running the option, and so it's perceived that it's not that popular in offense. But I tell you what, if you've got an athlete like Ashani Watson on your team at the high school level and you don't run the option, something's wrong with you as a coach, because he can just make so many things happen. He's so dangerous.
Well, and what is so important in an option quarterback's package that he has to be able to do. The kick, by the way, by Joe Ward was up and good. Now 35-14 our score. But the important part of the quarterback's package there in the option program is recognition. He has to know, and in this case, they don't use the dive as the first part of this option very often, but it begins with a dive in many, many offenses where the quarterback has to read the ride, whether he has to keep the football in and let the defense come up to him and then pull it out and continue down, and that's the first part of the option. The second one being whether he keeps it and breaks it upfield, or the third part, pitching it. And all those facets of the option are so important and critical for recognition, and this young man's done an outstanding job at it. And the short kick is taken there by Robert Struther, and Robert Struther doesn't come down without drawing a crowd. I saw 4 maroon jerseys standing when he finally was brought down, so there were at least 6 or 7 of them that it took to get him down there.
Our 4th touchdown for young Mr. Watson today, by the way.
Not bad. Not a bad day's work.
I think teams are going to find a very difficult time containing him in the playoffs. It'll be interesting to see how far University of Detroit Jesuit goes if they're indeed in Division II as projected.
Snap to Martinisi, throwing, angled beautifully in there to Marcus Curry, and it'll be a first down pass and catch.
You know, it is easy to see why he's already committed verbally to the University of Michigan to play football there. He is just a dangerous player catching the ball, and in a situation different from maybe the outcome of today's game, he just does so many things well, and running after the football is one of them. Wow.
Oh, the ball ticketed for Struther, picked off instead by Sean Rowland, and Rowland chased out of bounds near midfield, and U of D Jesuit continues their dominance in this football game.
Well, that certainly seals it there. Not that with a 21-point lead, and less than 2.5 minutes to go that I thought that Bishop Gallagher was going to make some sort of miracle comeback, but nevertheless, that kind of takes all the wind out of their sails, because one thing that Bishop Gallagher had done a pretty good job today of is taking care of the football. And on that particular play there, you have to give the credit, though, to number 26, Sean Rowland, because he came in and Strother thought he had that ball locked up, and Rowland just came and made a great play defensively to pick it off. And now we've got a new quarterback in the lineup.
And the new quarterback, let's see who that is. I can't tell from here. I think it's number 20. No, it's number 10, and we have no number 10 on our roster.
Anywhere on the rosters.
And we've got two different rosters, so carrying the football, Desmond Crenshaw. And we're not sure who number 10 is, so young man, we wish we could send the proper credit out, but neither of our two rosters in our program
typically
show number 10.
Typically this time of year, as you know, Tom, a lot of times junior varsity players get called up at this juncture of the season. Some of the better players on junior varsity get called up to help out in terms of varsity for the playoffs, and perhaps that's what we're looking at here, and why his number isn't on the roster.
Want to remind you that the other games in the package here, as far as the Prep Bowl is concerned, the Gabriel Richard Cardinal Mooney game, that'll come a little bit later in the programming schedule. Jim Shaffron and Frank Plakas will bring you that one, as well as the Bloomfield Hills Brother Rice and Detroit Catholic Central matchup. Stay tuned for programming notes about that and enjoy those broadcasts and our colleagues Jim Shaffron and Frank Plakas. And the give deep in the backfield to Desmond Crenshaw. Safety on the defensive side of the ball, running the football here on offense. Clock winding down to the 1:54 mark as he's run out of bounds.
We'll see who the Cubs will line up against in the playoffs. Nice run that time by Crenshaw, who has done a pretty good job defensively on the defensive side of the football today. Not a complete two-platoon system for U of D Jesuit, but they do have players that only go one way in many cases.
Now another new quarterback in the ball game, Dennis Morey, the 5'10 senior in the football game for U of D Jesuit High. The give right up the middle of the fullback. Billy Sharp on the carry.
Nice opportunity for Dennis to get out on the Silverdome carpet and run a few plays.
Well, pardon me, it's not Billy Sharp, it's number 33, another one of the late call-ups probably that you talked about just a moment ago. Antonio Green hustling into the football game for U of D Jesuit High School. Want to thank George Sahadi for his help with starting lineups and his staff for going over pronunciations. We've done the best we can with them. We appreciate also the help from Scott Merchant, especially his assistant Matt Newton, who helped us with the starting lineups. Oh, the give to Antonio Green, and he tiptoes for some good yardage. So we've got a hanky on the floor. Flag, we'll see out there what the call will be.
Under a minute to go now. Yeah, face mask call against Bishop Gallagher, and their situation now, what they've got to do with this particular game, the wild card championship, tri-sectional, I would quickly put it behind them and just start focusing in on the playoffs, because they're clearly going to be one of the favorites in their division, and that looks to be Division 8 more than likely. They're going to be one of the favorites, and I think Coach George Sahadi's been around a long time, and he knows that's exactly the task at hand. Yeah, they're sorry and disappointed with their loss today, but they've got bigger fish to fry.
And you know what? When you look too, Jeff, at it's a game winding down here, final 33 seconds. When you look too at their opponent out here today, it was an opponent that has probably toughened them up just a little bit because it's an opponent that's going to compete in the playoffs as well. 3 or 4, 5, 6 steps up the ladder as far as the divisions, the larger student body, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, obviously the Catholic League has prepared Bishop Gallagher for because the competition's just so great, and a lot of times they're playing schools that are, in some cases, as you point out here, many times larger than they are, and so that's that's one thing that's working in their favor. Plus, if you look at the past champions, last year in Class D, Class Single D, which was Fowler, they had 3 losses and were still champions. The year before, Lawrence was Class D champion. They had 3 losses and were still champions. So a couple of losses at that level does not necessarily mean you can't win a championship, and I think Bishop Gallagher may be here again for a 3rd time this season come Thanksgiving time.
Well, we shall see how it all plays out. This one played out in favor of University of Detroit Jesuit High School. 35-14 winners over Bishop Gallagher this afternoon. And we're going to stick around and see the presentation of the championship hardware out there.
There's the Cub with the big U of D flag running around. Tiger Cub. Excited. They'll finish the season 7-2, as will Bishop Gallagher.
And the fans down below us from U of D Jesuit High on their feet, cheering their Cubs today. They had a lot to cheer about from the very beginning in this football game. The opening drive of the game went 10 plays, 54 yards, resulting in a 2-yard touchdown run by Robert Perkins. That was the only touchdown that anybody other than Ashanti Watson would score, as it became the Ashanti Watson football game for the balance. Although there was a brief period when the game was tied, a 5-yard run by Darnell Hood for Bishop Gallagher tied the game with the successful point after kick, and then it was Ashanti Watson the following play. The kickoff return, he went 85 yards. The kick was good. It was 14-7. Then just before the half, it was a 69-yard run after the passing lanes and the receivers were covered. Watson went 69 yards for a touchdown. The point after was good, and that's the way it stood at the half, 21-7. U of D Jesuit High would add another one, and it was Watson again striking with a 4-yard run with 2:40 to play in the 3rd quarter. The point after kick by Joe Ward was letter perfect again. He was 5 for 5 in that department today, 28-7 at that point. And then Marcus Curry, much touted receiver, headed to the University of Michigan, hooking up on the receiving end from
Sam Martinisi.
Martinisi, and then the final touchdown scored by Watson on a 9-yard run. Let's go now to our public address announcer for the championship trophy presentation.
Bishop Gallagher, the tri-sectional champs, and the finalists here in the wild card game. And now the presentation to the wild card game champions, the Cubs of U of D Jesuit. Coached by Scott Merchant. Congratulations to both teams on a super season, a fine football game, and good luck in the state playoffs beginning next week. Both clubs are in. Gallagher in Class D, U of D in Class A.
Well, there's the championship hardware presented to the U of D Jesuit High team. We're going to send a couple of messages your way and come back with more award presentations. You're watching the Catholic Television Network of Detroit and the Prep Bowl.